Did you know that if your home was built between the late 70s and mid 90s, there's a chance it has plumbing that could fail at any moment? It's called Poly B, and it's in many ways considered one of the worst plumbing materials ever used in homes. Today, I'm going to explain what Poly B is, why it was used, why it became a problem, and what you should do if it's in your home. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. So, what is Poly B? Well, it's a type of plastic plumbing that was used for water supply lines in homes. Unlike copper, it was lightweight, it was flexible, and it was easy to install. Builders loved it because it could be bent around corners without needing as many fittings, and it was cheaper than copper at the time. At the time, Poly B seemed like the perfect solution: modern, corrosion resistant, and fast install. But here's the thing: not all plastics handle water chemistry well over decades. Unfortunately, Poly B didn't. So, when and why was it introduced? Poly B pipes were first introduced in the late 70s and became very popular throughout the 80s and early 90s. Why? One word: money. Copper prices were rising. Builders were looking for something more cost effective. And then here comes Poly B. Flexible, easy to work with, and much faster to install than all that traditional piping. Poly B was sold as modern plumbing solution. It was resistant to corrosion, ideal for new residential developments. In fact, thousands of homes basically across North America, particularly the US and Canada, use this material. And for a while, it seemed like a win-win for both builders and homeowners. But here why it became a problem. Poly B pipes don't always react well to chlorine and other chemicals commonly found in your municipal water. So over time, this can cause the plastic to become brittle and start cracking. And even small leaks at fittings or joints can lead to major water damage. The tricky part with Poly B is that these failures often happen without warning. So you might never notice a problem until water starts leaking behind your walls, so damaging floors, ceilings, and all your personal belongings. So for homeowners, this means thousands of dollars in repairs and insurance coverage. And you better watch out because some insurance policies don't even cover Poly B. Let's look at some of the legal histories that date back. By the 1990s, the problems with Poly B became real widespread, enough to trigger massive lawsuits. And manufacturers were facing $1 million class action settlements. Insurance claims skyrocketed in a lot of areas, including parts of Canada and US. New construction using this material it became just banned, outright banned. It's kind of a real cautionary tale about how something that seemed innovative at the time can become a nightmare decades later. And this is still in some homes today. So, how do you look out for Poly B if you're shopping for a home? So, here I'm going to give you some of the main indicators. Okay. So, basically, look at the era of homes first. Homes built between mid 70s and mid 90s likely had Poly B. The pipes were blue, gray, or white plastic. Metal crimp rings or push fittings, these were commonly used to connect the pipes, so look out for those. So if you're buying a home in this era, like I said, it's worth at least asking the seller and inspecting the plumbing. Even if the pipes look fine on the surface, the risk of sudden failure with this piping can be real. And so you just want to get it out of there. And if it's in the home, get the homeowners to get out before you buy. Homeowners have shared their stories with Poly B pipes leaked and where it's caused serious flooding in basements, behind walls. You might have one leak might start small, just a few drips, and over time it can destroy drywall, flooring, and the structural wood. I've also seen cases where families had to move out temporarily where their plumbing was replaced. The cost can easily be upwards of $10,000 to $20,000 or more, depending on the size of the home. And unfortunately, a lot of insurance companies sometimes they'll fight these claims if they consider Poly B as a known risk. So it's just best to get it out even before you purchase a home if it's there. So what can you do if your home has Poly B? So the safest approach is a full replacement with modern PEX, copper piping. So while that, your investment up front is going to be high, it's going to protect you from unexpected leaks and water damage down the road. So if a full replacement isn't feasible, if you find this piping, at least have a professional plumber inspect the system regularly. You got to check your home insurance. Like, because some policies require disclosure, Poly B. So if you haven't disclose it. Because if you don't disclose these kind of things and you have this flood, which is really a ticking time bomb, you could really come into some trouble. So it's best to, if you just can't afford it at the time, you have Poly B in your home, just make sure it is disclosed. You don't want to have a ton of water damage and then all of a sudden in the fine print they say, well, this wasn't disclosed, Poly B plumbing is not covered, and now we're not covering you. And that could be a real thing, and it's happened before. So if your home has Poly B plumbing, like I said, don't wait for the leak to force your hand. Like I said, it could cost you thousands. Inspect it, repair it, or just flat out replace it. Be proactive. And if you dealt with Poly B in your home, I'd love to hear your story. Drop it in the comments. Have you had any experience with this type of piping? I just want to hear from you guys what your story is and if you've had any real nightmares with it in the past. So guys, like I said, we're going through things that you must look out for with older construction, older builds, whether it's a condo or a detached house. This is part 2. This is all about Poly B plumbing. These are short videos, but informative videos, because like I said, as a realtor, I still want my buyers to be informed and just have a little bit of knowledge going in when you're searching and going to shop for homes, because it's good to rely on your realtor and an inspector and all that kind of stuff, but you want to be well informed as well to say, hey, listen, what about this and this? And then you can feel confident going into a home, especially an older home, because like I've mentioned in the past videos, there's a lot of real cool things with older homes, whether it's the layout, bigger square footage, unique features like that are grandfathered in from the city. So there's a lot of pluses to get an older build, but you want to make sure you've done your due diligence when you're looking out for a lot of these things that could really, these are big ticket items that if they're not dealt with either before or, being proactive with it, could cost you thousands upon thousands. So guys, like I said, drop it in the comment. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share and like the videos. It all helps out the channel. That's it for this video, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.